We heard from the governor and a Democratic lawmaker. Joining us now is Republican State Senator Colby Fulfer of Springdale. Senator Fulfer, we know that you're headed back to Little Rock on Tuesday, and one of the issues that the governor wants the legislators to pass is $50 million for school safety. What do you think about his request?
Well, let me be very transparent with you. We have not seen the information on this yet. We haven't had anything from our leadership or the governor sent out to us. I think that school safety needs to be addressed. This is something that I think will be a good option for us, but you know, how you do something is just as important as what you do. And I think part of the frustration that we have towards Washington sometimes is that they will pass bills that haven't had a time to be vetted or read through. So I'm looking forward to reading through this bill and seeing what's in it. But we do know that school safety has to be addressed ASAP.
All right. What do you think about the governor's ask for more tax cuts for all Arkansans and the corporate tax cuts that he's hoping to pass?
You know, I think tax cuts are one of the greatest ways that we can help the citizens of Arkansas. When I ran for office in January, the election was in February, but I had said on this program that inflation would be the #1 issue that Arkansans are facing, and that ended up coming to fruition. We're sitting at a little over 9% inflation right now, and if you combine that with last year's 5%, we're a little over 14% right now over a 2-year window. That is, as I said in January, inflation is a tax that will affect everybody. It doesn't matter if you're the wealthiest person in the community or if you're at the very bottom. Everyone is going to pay this tax. There is no adjustable rate for that individual. So it affects those on the lower end of the income level than it does anybody else. And so I think it's important for us to do these tax cuts. Unfortunately, what happens is the federal government is the one that determines our economy. Very seldom will you see a state that has issues that are greater than the federal economy, unless you get into states like California. And people want to see tax cuts, and people are saying, why don't we get rid of a sales tax or reduce sales tax? But that's what impacts, in my other job as the chief of staff for the mayor, that impacts the fire and police response. It impacts your local services that are returned. So what happens is the federal government really dictates what happens with our economy, but people are looking for tax cuts that cost us on the local and state level. So basically it's a bailout whenever local and state governments have to do tax cuts to combat what the federal government is doing. So what I'd love to see is that federal income tax is adjusted whenever the federal government does a bad job with our economy, but that's not the case. So we will be addressing tax cuts next week, and I look forward to being a part of that. It's important for our residents.
Now, what's some of the pushback that you're hearing from your colleagues?
One of the main issues that I'm hearing is if it's true that this will affect people making $80,000 or less, there is some pushback that there are people who make $85,000 and $90,000 and above, that inflation is affecting them just as much as anyone else. So maybe that the tax cuts might not be broad enough. Okay. That's one complaint that I've heard, but I'm not, until we see this bill, we're not going to know exactly the details. But that would be the only pushback that I've heard.
All right, Senator Colby Fulfer from Springdale, thank you so much for joining us. Have a safe trip to Little Rock.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this Sunday for 4029 News on the Record as we look deeper into the special session. We want to know what issues are most important to you. Email us at ontherecord@4029tv.com. Visit our website, 4029tv.com, for more coverage. We'll see you next week, same place, same time, as we continue our conversations with area newsmakers.